Hi everyone, I want to wish you a happy Chinese New Year. Officially, the date of it is February 12th, and this year is the year of the ox, so I thought that I would kind of celebrate in my own little way um, just the changing of this energy and the celebration of this new year that's celebrated throughout Asia, not just China. Um, and it's such a special time of year throughout Asia that, it's celebrated in so many different countries with so many different foods and beliefs and, rituals. And I don't know if you guys know about this, but in New York, anyways, where I'm from, we usually have in Chinatown this great gathering of people, and they'll kind of set off fireworks, and there'll be some Chinese dragon dancing, and it's all just so fun. I just love this time of year. So, um, since things are the way they are, I won't be actually traveling over to Chinatown. Instead, I'm celebrating it in my own little way. So, yeah, so just a little bit of information about Chinese New Year's. It happens every February. This year it happens to land on February 12th. In China, I know they usually celebrate the entire month. If you work there, I've worked in Asia before and lived in Asia, obviously. But we would usually get about 2 weeks off. So, yeah, not bad, right? Like you get 2 weeks off for New Year's. Imagine if we did that in the US. Um, and, people will, I think some of the traditions, there's so many, but the ones that I remember are just eating the little tiny, we call them cuties here, those little tiny oranges. And some of you may or may not have seen an exchange or, people receiving little red envelopes. Usually there'll be maybe $5 in there, and it's more symbolic. It's not really a gift of money, it's more of a symbolic gift of fortune and abundance and, money, more money coming in the new year and all that. Um, then there's also the just kind of like the characteristics of these 12 different animals in the Chinese zodiac. And we're coming out of the rat year, and we're coming into the year of the ox. So that's kind of what I'm centering this reading or this pick a card situation around. A little bit of information about ox people, because it is all based on the Chinese zodiac. Oxen people are very just steadfast. They work really hard. They're super confident. They're super strong. They are patient, and they just persevere. They're just this great mix of real old fashioned hard work and just believing, also kind of using their beliefs to kind of enhance that by just making any goal that they want possible, right? So anything they want to create, they don't stop until they get it. So that's just a great characteristic to have. So to kind of have that follow us for the next year, according to the lunar calendar, is I think great. It's pretty awesome. So, anyways, we're gonna do your standard pick a card situation. Three piles here. Pile one is this green stone. Pile two is this tiger's eye, and finally, it's kind of hard to see, I think, usually, but it's just kind of like this very pale lemon yellow stone, and that would be pile three. So one, two, and three. Just want you to focus and see where your eyes land, see what calls to you, and then go ahead and pick that one. And I'll put a timestamp on so you guys can go straight to your own reading. And yeah, and for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Pamela Belen, and I'm a professional tarot card reader. I'm also a holistic life coach, and I do some energetic healing as well. So I decided to create this reading. Just kind of gives us a second chance if maybe, if you celebrate Chinese New Year, then I'm quite honored that you would be on here. And if you don't, it's kind of cool to kind of get that second chance at a new year. I don't know what your last New Year was. The standard traditional, American New Year would be following the calendar, right? So January 1st, that's our new year. Maybe it wasn't that great. Maybe things didn't go the way you had hoped. Now you get a second chance, sort of, right? So why not? I loved second chances. Okay, so I will meet you guys at your readings. All right, welcome group one. If you chose the group that had this beautiful green stone, then welcome. You're in the right place. And we're taking a look here at our reading. Yeah, so we're going to kind of take a look back a little bit, then we'll look forward, and then we'll get a little bit of advice. That's going to be kind of the breakdown of this reading. So let's just get right to it. So group one, we're going to look at your year of the rat, right? How was your year of the rat? Okay, and yeah, this is pretty much what I expect. Honestly, of this was like a card that I had many of in the deck. It would probably show up for every group, to be honest with you. But so the Four of Cups is all about boredom. I mean, you could see it right in the face of the person that's kind of laying there, not feeling sorry for himself necessarily, but this big giant cup here. I think it's symbolic, so please don't hit me. It's not my fault. But basically, this card is just kind of showing this person who's just bored, just bored and um, not much to say, not much to do, kind of maybe feeling a little sorry for themselves because they are so bored and they wish they had something exciting to do, or they wish they had more friends, or people to hang out with. But at the same time, you'll notice here there's a hand. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a hand that's holding a cup here, and it's a big giant cup when you compare it to these down here. So it's kind of symbolic at the fact that there may have been some things last year that, again, I'm speaking in regards to the Lunar New Year. So, there may have been something or someone or a situation that could have, if you had just viewed it a little bit differently, might have actually given you some sort of rewards or kind of taking you out of this funk, because this card is definitely about being in a funk and just not, there isn't much good as far as you're concerned, but there potentially could be if you just shifted the way you saw things. So last year, maybe the year of the rat was not the greatest year for you. You were not happy. Maybe you didn't achieve goals. I'm sure you felt restricted in many, many ways, because that's the truth for everyone. But maybe you missed an opportunity here to kind of, turn things around as much as you can, kind of making, lemonade out of lemons kind of situation. That's what this card is asking us to do. So for my group ones, I would say your year of the rat was probably a really boring one where, maybe you had tons of plans, but they all fell through. And, you might have missed like a big opportunity. Might have. Some of you in this group may have missed an opportunity to create something last year, even though creating anything just seemed almost impossible. So I get it. But now that's the past. So now let's take a look at your future. What's your ox year going to look like? And yes, hello, hello, hello. Much, much better. So we're looking here at the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is like, I even love the way he's kind of looking over at him like, seriously, dude. So it's like, the King of Wands is just this mature, it has nothing to do with age. It has to do more with an attitude or a personality, in my personal opinion. But we're taking a look at a king here who's very, very, very much focused on creating. So I think you're going to have a huge shift in this new lunar new year, in this ox year. I think there's going to be tons of stuff for you to create. I kind of feel like, so he's in my interpretation of this card, this king is all about being an entrepreneur. He's all about creating businesses. He's just busy, busy, busy. He's great at networking. He's great at creating businesses, business ideas, partnering up with other people, but usually this king does work alone. So I feel like in which it fits in perfectly with the personality of the ox. I feel that some of you in this group will absolutely start your own businesses, maybe a side hustle, maybe you'll start a new job, something along these lines. But he really is in my opinion, the spirit of an entrepreneur. So that's fantastic, right? You're going from bored and feeling like there's not much going on to now in this newer year, getting ready to kind of kill it at life. So good for you. That's awesome. All right, so we're going to take a look at what you're going to let go of and then what you're going to create more of in your life. So let's see what you need to let go of in order to make your goals happen or have a better year. And this year is, oh, that's interesting. Okay, this does go together with this card over here, especially where this card over here, this is the Three of Cups. We're looking at the card of community. We're looking at the, especially in this deck, it's kind of depicted more as not so much community, but more of kind of like parties and hanging out and having fun and all that good stuff that we love. But it is in the part of your reading where we're looking at what you need to release. So I think that maybe in this year where you kind of felt like there was nothing to do and there was nothing to even get up in the morning for. Not that I'm saying you were giving up on life or anything, but I feel like some of you really did kind of take it to heart where you were like, the majority of the year you kind of found yourself feeling bored or saying how bored you were or really, really kind of not seeing the potential for anything because there wasn't much to do, to be honest with you. So not judging, totally understanding, but also recognizing that there was an opportunity. But here, I think you may have developed, maybe you were on Zoom all day long with your friends, or maybe you started, gaming, or you started, drinking maybe a little too much, all the things that a lot of people were doing in order to kind of distract themselves, I guess, from their boredom. So maybe it kind of crossed the line to the point where now the cards are asking some of you in this group to let that go. Just kind of let that kind of lifestyle go. If you want to create something really awesome, you want to create a really productive year, you're not going to do it by hanging out and partying, even if it is online. That's kind of like a reward after work. But if it kind of takes over your life, then it really starts interfering with your potential, right? Or your potential for reaching your goals or living the life that you want to live. So kind of cut back. So if you talk to people on the phone or you're on social media 9 hours a day, cut that down to half. Cut it down to like 4 hours a day, which is still a lot, by the way. But it's a start, right? You can use those extra 3 or 4 hours that you now have to work on your goals. And like I said, I feel like most of you, or a lot of you in this group anyways, are going to really look into something work related. So maybe you've also been out of work. Some of you in this group may have been out of work, and that's why you're really, 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 you were bummed out, because now so many hours of your day that used to be busy were now, empty, and there was nothing to do. So you found new ways to do it, and that's very cool. You can have this kind of distraction, but not so much of it. So that's why you're being asked to kind of cut it out for the moment, or maybe lessen it, something like that, so you can create something else. So let's take a look at what you should focus on. What should you create, or what are you bringing into your life? And we have here, okay, so this is great because these cards do go together as well. So it's just a kind of a confirmation here that you need to kind of sever ties with. There might be some people who also may be not the greatest influence for you in regards to your goals. Maybe they just think negatively. Maybe they kind of have low self-confidence, so their inner talk as well as the things they say to you might be quite negative. They might be toxic people, or people that kind of waste your time a little bit. So this is just a confirmation. You need to create just a tighter community. So, 2-3 people who really have your back and kind of pump you up and get you excited about stuff, instead of people who may be toxic and, kind of taking you along with them down this rabbit hole of life sucks, quote unquote. So it doesn't. And you just need to really kind of start to look at the people in your life and decide who's enhancing it and who's not, and then kind of obviously stick with the ones who enhance it. So this is just a confirmation of the same thing, severing ties with people who are toxic or not very good for you and break your heart a little bit. And then you have here the releasing of too much partying. There's just way too much going on here. And this is great once a year, but not every day, right? All right, group one. Now we're going to look at advice. Yeah, see, this is just reconfirmation of the same thing. I kind of feel like in this group, there might be some of you or one of you or a couple of you who really need to hear this message because it just keeps getting, it keeps showing up, right? So this card here, the Four of Wands, this is your advice card for the year, right? So how do you go through your year? Spend more time at home. Spend more time at home, believe it or not. Spend more time in nature and spend more time, not necessarily home. That's not really correct. What I should have said is spend more time with family or loved ones or really close friends. Again, you know, kind of maybe whittling down the number of people you talk to or hang out with, all the influences and all the energy that you're bringing into your life. Really kind of cut it down to just a few people you know have your best interest at heart. So really mind who you spend time with, right? So it should be nurturing, it should be loving, it should be, you know, people who do have your best interest at heart. That's what you need to surround yourself with. I know that sounds really, really basic, but I feel like in this group there may be some of you in here who need to hear this. You've kind of maybe gone in a direction that feels good for the moment, but it's starting to cause a little bit of chaos for you now. Especially as we start coming out of this situation we're in the world, and now we're kind of slowly coming back to a normal life. We need to kind of get back on the horse, you know. So we have to just kind of like really figure out what we want, who deserves to be there with us, and then get to work. So that's going to be your Lunar New Year. So that is your Lunar New Year reading. I hope it resonated. I hope it helps. If you have any questions, don't forget to comment. Let me know what pile you picked and what you felt about it, how it resonated or didn't resonate. Just be kind. I'm open to all feedback. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow. You know, I'm also on Instagram. Go ahead and celebrate the Lunar New Year, and I will see you next week. Bye. All right, hello group 2. Welcome to your reading. You guys picked this beautiful tiger's eye stone, so welcome. And we're going to take a look at your kind of a year ahead of the Lunar New Year reading here. So we're going to kind of look back real quick, and then we'll take a look at you know, what you're bringing in, what you're releasing, and then just a little bit of advice. That's kind of this whole reading over here. So let's just get started. We're going to take a look, group 2, at what is this? We're going to look at how your rat year went. So the year of the rat. That sounds a lot better than the rat year. The year of the rat. How did it go for you? And, oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that. That's awesome. Okay, so I feel like some of you in this group, or maybe hopefully all of you in this group, worked really, really hard last year, or this, you know, last lunar year. I feel like you really just kind of put your head down and kind of used this, you know, serious global downtime as a time to really focus on something you've been learning. So either you were in school or you kind of took on a new certification program and decided, well, this is the perfect opportunity for me to learn whatever, digital marketing, you know, whatever it is that you guys are interested in. So I feel like in this group, your last year was not wasted at all, you know, where a lot of us were feeling kind of like, oh, I had so many plans and everything I want to do is kind of off the table for the moment. This group, or some of you in this group, definitely took advantage and just kind of thought, well, okay, I can't do those things, but what can I do? And you got to work. So that's pretty awesome. That's a good way to kind of go through life just kind of having a plan B, or just thinking, okay, let me make the best of this situation. So good for you guys. All right, now when we look at your year of the ox, though, what's your new year looking like? And that's awesome. So I kind of feel like here, I don't know if you guys can see this because there's a fold in the sheet that I'm using here, but there's kind of like a meeting almost. If you look at these two cards here, they're almost kind of looking at each other. They're facing each other, right? So in your newer year, or your ox year, we're looking at the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is a really, oh, it's so cool too, because look, if you guys can see this, I really hope you can, but in the background, he's in front of these trees with these little cuties, these little orange trees, trees of abundance, trees of money. So I kind of feel like all the hard work you did last year is going to really start paying off this year. It's going to be in the beginning stages of it, though, so don't think that, and for some of you, yeah, you may become a millionaire by the end of the year, or you may be super successful, but I feel like this is definitely showing you that there will be abundance, like you're on your way to seeing real results for all this work you did during the year of the rat. So group 2, congratulations. This page here is a page of excitement, energy, fire, passion, lots of energy and a lot of action. Those are the two main words for this card, and it's all very emotional in the sense where it's like all based on whatever it is you're feeling. So if you're really loving something you're doing, you're going to want to do more of it. And that's exactly what this year is going to be like for you. It's going to be a lot of, success, young success, but success, and the beginning of success. But definitely there's going to be abundance. There's going to be recognition. You kind of looking back at the work you did last year and being like, wow, good thing I did this, or good thing I learned that, or good thing I met this person, whatever you were learning or doing last year. So congratulations. It looks like it's just going to be like a growth of some kind, and it's all going to kind of stem from this last year and you being really studious or really hardworking. This is just somebody who's like, he's up all night working while everybody else is sleeping, and he's just got this candle on, and he's just got his head down, and he's working really hard, and now we're starting to see some victory from that. So congratulations on that. Now we're going to take a look at what, in order to kind of, achieve some of your goals, what should you be releasing, right? So let's take a look here. Okay, and you've got the Queen of Cups, which is one of my favorite cards, actually. And this Queen of Cups is very, very maternal, very loving, very nurturing. She's also very, very empathic and empathetic as well. So she has many, many strengths. It's a very gentle kind of strength, but it's no less powerful than any other strength you'll find in some of the other queens as well in this deck. So I kind of feel like she's also someone who kind of spends a lot of time alone, really pondering things and, really internalizing a lot of stuff, which is fine. But I kind of feel like this card is asking some of you in this group to really tune in without disconnecting from the world. So definitely tune into your intuition. I feel like your intuition is going to be a big reason why you guys are going to be succeeding at whatever it is that you're working on right now. So don't lose sight of that intuition. This one's a pretty, for me anyways, the way I'm interpreting this card here for you guys, I really feel like this is kind of a pretty straightforward card, just asking you not to lose touch of your intuition. That's the word. Yeah. So, really, really pay attention. Anytime you need to make a decision, anytime you want to make a change, anytime you meet someone new, really use your intuition to help guide you, because I feel like that's going to be key to your success. All right. So that's going to be what you're releasing, and then what you are creating. Yeah, going along, these cards are definitely related here. Like, I see a sense of you letting go of the emotions and letting your emotions drive you, and now letting your intuition drive you a little bit more, your actions a little bit more. And then what you're going to create or bring into your life more is going to be just this sense of really tuning in, right? So whether this card for me is usually like a retreating card, right? He's kind of going off on his own to really think things through and really kind of come up with some answers, some plans, some clarity, whatever it is that this hermit may be needing. He finds it in solitude. He's not going to find it in you know discussing this situation or discussing his worries with anyone. It's an internal journey he needs to take. So yeah, so I feel like in order for you to trust your intuition a little bit more and let go of the emotions, you really need to spend more time on your own. Not in a lonely way, more of in a solitude kind of way. It's a choice you're making in order to get really, really clear on your path, whatever that might be, whether it's about this stuff here or whether if it's something, more personal. Either way, it's a path, and that's what you want to gain some clarity on. So, all right, and then finally, we're going to take a look at your advice card throughout the year. All right, so this is a great card as well. You guys have a lot of emotions going on here. I love it. Okay, so this is the options card. So, really, your advice for the year is to kind of keep in mind that if something's not working or something doesn't feel right, don't, really, really listen to your intuition and just don't let it, don't ever feel like you're out of options in anything that you're doing, especially if you're creating, I don't know why, but I get a sense of a business or a new career or something for a lot of you in this group. I feel like this is all tied to you kind of either starting or kind of starting over in a new career, or something like this. Might be like a career change you guys are making, some of you in here. So always don't ever think like, all right, I'll be lucky if this happens. It's more of a, oh, if this happens, then I've got plenty of options. I can always do these other things. There's always tons of options. So don't ever feel kind of pigeonholed into anything or forced to do anything. It doesn't feel right. Definitely connect into that intuition to make your decisions. If it doesn't feel right, just kind of start looking for alternatives. Basically, don't settle for anything that doesn't feel 100% right to you. All right, so that's group 2. This is going to be your reading, or this is your reading for the Lunar New Year for the year of the ox. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was accurate or helpful in some way. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to leave me a comment or a like. Just let me know what you thought of this reading, what you thought of the theme. If you have any questions on anything, don't hesitate to leave me a comment of some kind. I'll respond to everything. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks. Bye. All right, welcome group 3. If you chose the group that had this yellow stone, welcome. You're in the right group. And thank you for joining me for this reading. Okay, so this reading is pretty straightforward. We're going to take a look at the year of the rat and how that went for you, then kind of take a quick look at the incoming year, which will be the year of the ox. Then we'll look at what you need to release and create, and then a little bit of advice to kind of, seal the reading. So let's just get started. We're going to first start off with your year of the rat. How did that go for you guys? Okay, so this is not bad at all, actually. So we're looking at the Two of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles is all about balance, right? It's about balancing. It could be responsibilities, it could be duties, it could be, relationships, money. Usually this is about money, just because it is the Pentacles, but it doesn't necessarily have to be about that. So for some of you in this group, it will be about money, and for the rest of you, it might be something different, but it really is just about balance. So I would say that your last year, the year of the rat for this group anyways, was a year of balance. So maybe you guys did really, really well in the pandemic, with that kind of, semi-isolation, depending on whether you worked online or not, or worked from home. There was a bit of solitude in the prior year that was really scary and uncomfortable for some people, and then really kind of like the break or the sabbatical that some people needed, and they really took advantage of it. So I kind of feel like you guys here in this group, or some of you in this group anyways, really took on the year of the rat as a time to really just kind of just rebalance or balance, or just kind of find a happy medium of your time, right? And your energy and your resources. So that's excellent, because it was really, really hard for some people. They weren't able to just kind of stay home and make the best of it. It's really, depending on your personality and your needs and all that, of course, um, being on your own and isolated for a year is tough. It's so tough, but you guys seem to be handling it just fine. All right, so now let's look at the second card here, where we're looking at your year of the ox. And we have the Five of Swords. So now we're looking at the general card for your year that's upcoming, right? And we're looking at a card where, this is usually not the most positive card, but honestly, I don't see this so much as something where the traditional meaning of this card is actually what the message is. So I kept hearing the words hard work, hard work. So I feel like this card here is definitely showing me a year of someone who's kind of, it's good to work hard. It's good to kind of try to achieve your goals and everything, but I kind of feel like you guys are willing to do it, or some of you in this group anyways, who chose this group. There's almost a sense of like at any cost. That's the sense I'm getting. It's also the words I'm hearing now, actually. At any cost. So I kind of feel like in order to achieve, some of you in this group are willing to do anything and everything to kind of achieve your goals, which is great to a certain point, though. I kind of feel like you guys may be crossing the line. You see, you're kind of hurting people along the way, maybe. And so the win is technically a win, but may not feel that great. So it's, it's important you guys kind of really watch kind of your mindset when you are going for your goals. There is such a thing as too much, or kind of going at it a little too roughly or too harshly. Winning at any cost sounds good, but in your case, I feel like you're gonna leave some bodies behind. Like you're really almost ruthless. I hate to use that word, guys. I'm sorry, but some of you in this group are going to be almost ruthless in pursuit of your goals. And I, for one, anyways, don't believe that that's really going to feel that great once you do achieve your goals, because you will achieve them. See, he's victorious. He's holding up his sword, and he did it. But you see what's going on behind him is not good at all. So really be mindful of those around you as well, right? And the wreckage you may leave behind in pursuit of your goals. So, all right, so that's going to be, potentially for some of you, also not all of you, but for some of you, this will be the year of the ox. So, hardworking group. You guys are a hardworking bunch in here, in this group, and you'll do what it takes, which is great. But like I said, there's also such a thing as maybe crossing the line or going too far. So just stay mindful of that, please. All right, and we're going to take a look at what you need to release. And all right, so I feel like this might be tied here to these cards, actually. This card here is of new opportunities, or kind of like the initial growth of money. So I feel like whatever goals you're going to have, some of you in this group, there are some goals centered around money. And that might be what's clouding your judgment to a point where you're working like this, right? Or where you're kind of like not even caring too much about like other people, only worrying about the bottom line or your money, or, being almost a little cutthroat, honestly. So release that attitude, please. This is totally your release card in group 3. So, having this growth of money, or this opportunity to create money, money is important, and this is normally a beautiful card, but because of the location in this spread, I definitely see it as something you need to release. Release the importance of money, release the importance of, and I know that's easy to say, especially if you have money problems, if you have debt, if you have, you need money. Who doesn't need money, right? It doesn't make life better, but it definitely makes it much easier. So that's the reason why we pursue it so much, right? And we want it so much because we want to enjoy our lives and be happy. But you in this group, some of you are being asked to kind of release that this is not an obsession, but just kind of like that mentality, right? So just kind of release it or loosen it a little bit and let success come in other ways as well. It doesn't always necessarily have to be because you made a certain amount of money or you created, a certain bottom line for the business where you work. It's money's not everything basically. So kind of release that attitude that money's going to be your measure of success this year. So this is what you need to release, just the importance you put on money, because it's not everything, right? But then what do you need to create this year? All right, so I kind of feel like, so this is the Ace of Swords, and this is the opportunity for something new. I think it's going to be like a big new idea you guys are going to have, or some of you in this group are going to have, centered around money probably, just because I see pentacles here, and I just see this emphasis on money. So I'm going to go ahead and say this might be about finances, it might be about work, it might be about a deal that you guys, maybe a contract or something that you guys, or some of you in here are trying to get called in for, and, there's just kind of this sense of like, I need this, so maybe some of you have been out of work for a while, or you're kind of running low on your savings. I feel like there's a sense of urgency, a sense of a little bit of desperation from some of you. Definitely around money, but do not fear, because it looks like at some point in this lunar year, a great big new beautiful idea is going to change everything for you. So don't get desperate enough to get this ruthless, or to make money the end all be all of your entire life, or don't let it define you. Something new is going to come in, a new idea. So now let's take a look at this with, this new big idea you're having that's going to kind of change things for you. Again, I see a pairing here. It's quite important. Once you let go of this mentality you have around money being everything and your total focus, you end up coming up with a really big, important idea. And let's see. Yep, there we go. Okay, so some of you in this group will actually end up having this huge idea that changes everything for you. This king over here, the King of Cups, is a very empathetic king, a very fair king, really great at taking care of people. They're kind of like that mentor that teaches you everything that they know, and they actually get great joy out of seeing other people succeed, especially when they have a part in that. So there's kind of like this really cool dad energy coming from this king over here, but very loving, very supportive. So this could be, it depends on who picked this card, but for some of you this may be an actual person that comes into your life and kind of shifts things for you, helps you see things a little differently, and a little more empathetically. This king is very, very fair and very empathetic and very loving and nurturing. Just that when you meet that person and you're like, oh, I wish this person was my dad, like there's just something really great about them that makes you, if I didn't have the dad I had, I wish this guy could be my dad. That's this king here. So I really feel like some of you are going to actually meet this person. For others of you in this group, though, I feel like you're going to almost become this person, or you're going to take on more of this energy. Maybe, because of you're being heated over here, careful with ruthlessness around money. It's not going to be worth it. You'll technically win, but you won't feel great about it when you finally take a look back and see what you've done to achieve your goals. You might kind of feel a little regretful. I don't know if that's a real word, but yeah, you'll kind of feel some regret around some of the actions you took. So some of you will become more like this king and become more compassionate and caring, and more focused on helping people rather than winning or getting all the money, or you know what I mean? So yeah, so there's going to be kind of like a shift here, a big shift. So this could be a big business idea, right? And you have someone come in and help you out with that, and you guys will complement each other in the sense where this person could be the face that deals with the people and kind of charms them, and then you'll be maybe, or whoever picked these cards, potentially could be the brain, let's say, or the idea person. So could be a partner that's coming in of some kind, whether it's business or personal or whatever it might be. Because this is also a love king as well, so this could be about relationships as well. So everything I said right now could definitely be applied to dating as well. So yeah, so it looks like you guys had a great last year. It looks like this year you have a potential to succeed. Just be careful how hard you go for your goal, right? Always kind of check back in and say, does this honor me? Does this honor the other people? Will I hurt anyone by doing any of this? And then just act accordingly, right? Or reassess accordingly. And it definitely looks like someone or a new energy of compassion will kind of come in as well and shift things completely, because that's what this is here. This is a big, huge shift. I hope you have a happy Lunar New Year. Definitely go out there and get some of those cuties and have some of that. And, if you can safely enjoy some kind of dragon festival, then go for it and good luck. And then, yeah, definitely please consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment. Let me know what you picked. Let me know if it resonated at all, if it was accurate. And I will see you guys next week.